Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the PlayStation Theatre in New York City, where today we are announcing a partnership between Michelin and Gran Turismo, which sees Michelin becoming the official tyre partner of Gran Turismo. Michelin is a company that has a rich and illustrious history, having pioneered inventions including the radial tyre. And today it has over 117,000 employees and a brand presence in more than 170 countries. Meanwhile, Gran Turismo is one of the best-selling racing video games in history, having sold more than 80 million units worldwide across the franchise's 22-year run, and with its latest iteration having driven 12.7 billion kilometers, that's nearly 8 billion miles in GT Sport. Anyway, without further ado, to discuss this partnership, I'd like to welcome Executive Vice President for Michelin, Scott Clark, and producer of the Gran Turismo series, Kazunori Yamauchi. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Well, it is fantastic to have you both along. So, Yamauchi-san, let's go straight in with you. What are the benefits of this partnership between Gran Turismo and Michelin, and how will this be represented in GT Sport and also in the FIA GT Championships?
今回こういったパートナーシップは、ミシュランとのグランツーリスモの間のパートナーシップというのは、グランツーリスモスポーツにとってFIA グランツーリスモチャンピオンシップの中で、どういった形で現れてくるんでしょうか。
一つはですね、グランツーリスモの中のブランドセントラルというセクションにミシュランのミュージアムができます。ミシュランはすごく長い歴史を持ったブランドですけれども、グランツーリスモのプレイヤーがそのミシュランの歴史をグランツーリスモを通じて学ぶことができるんですね。それが一つです。あともう一つはミシュランの皆さんが持っているタイヤのテクノロジー、あるいはタイヤのフィジックスがグランツーリスモに導入されることによって、よりリアルなドライビング体験ができますし、あるいは FIA グランツーリスモチャンピオンシップスにおいても、よりストラテジックなタイヤの使い方というのができるようになります。
So one is that Michelin is a company with a very long history, and they will have a new museum section in the brand central of Gran Turismo Sport. And players that will be playing in Gran Turismo Sport will be able to really learn about the long and rich history of Michelin as a race inside the game. The other point is that Michelin, obviously, they have just massive amount of technology relating to tires, and implementing that knowledge into the physics of Gran Turismo is going to allow us to have a more realistic simulation in the game, as well as providing more improved facets of strategy for the players who will be racing in the FIA Gran Turismo Championships.
It really is fascinating. Scott, let's welcome you in. One really only has to look at some of the statistics of Michelin within motorsport. Let's have a look. 22 consecutive overall victories in the Le Mans 24 Hours, more than 330 FIA World Rally Championship victories, more than 100 race victories in F1, 10 world titles there as well. And also, it's the #1 global tyre brand and #3 in the world's most trusted brands as well. So with all of these real-world racing accolades, how does this status as the new official tyre technology partner of Gran Turismo support Michelin's ongoing strategy?
Well, it's really important to us. As you said, Tom, Michelin's been involved in racing really since 1895. So it's in our genes, and we race to develop new technology and to demonstrate the superiority of our products. And over the decades of racing and all around the world and all different kinds of series, as you mentioned, we've amassed a tremendous amount of data. We've also developed our own very unique simulation capabilities, both tire simulation as well as vehicle simulation. And it's really that we want to bring to our partners at Gran Turismo to really fundamentally improve the experience of the gamer, to make it as realistic as we possibly can, to bring in a new strategy element to the game. And for us as well, back to your point on the strategy, to really expose to this very large Gran Turismo consumer base the critical role and importance that a Michelin tire can play in optimizing the performance of a vehicle. And so we're very excited about that.
It really is fantastic. And digital innovation, as we know, is something that's very much at the heart of Michelin's motorsport and development activities. So why did Michelin decide to enter into a partnership with Gran Turismo? What do you think this also means for the Michelin brand as well?
Well, the partnership with Gran Turismo is really a partnership of two leaders in their field. Clearly, Gran Turismo, the leader in terms of driving simulation, racing simulation, tremendous following, And Michelin, as you said up front, really the leader, global leader in tires, the leader in tire innovation and technology. And so we also share, both of our companies share a passion for motorsports, for performance driving, and for improving the driving experience. Michelin, our purpose is about fundamentally improving mobility experiences, whether it's on a race car, a street car, an airplane, a truck. That's what we're all about. And we're very excited about this partnership. Gives us a way to bring some of our proprietary capabilities and improve the experience of the gamer and expose them to the Michelin brand. So it's a great fit.
Certainly is. Well, Yamauchi-san, as part of this partnership, Michelin will be openly sharing knowledge with Sony over the next 3 years. So how do you think this will provide Gran Turismo players with a new dimension of strategy and also performance within the game?
今回こういったパートナーシップを通じて、ミシュランはさまざまな彼らのノウハウをソニーと共有して、ここ3年間そういった情報を共有し続けてくれるらしいんですけど、そういったことはプレイヤーにとってどういった新しいストラテジーをもたらすのか、ゲームの中にどういった影響があるんでしょうかと。
僕らはもう25年ぐらいカーフィジックスシミュレーションを追求してきました。
So we have been pursuing the perfection of car physics in the simulations for over 25 years now.
はい。で、常に、自動車の物理シミュレーションの世界で常にミステリアスな存在が実はタイヤのシミュレーションなんですね。
And we've always found that the most mysterious part of car physics simulation is always the tires.
はい。で、僕はね以前からこの25年間僕らは自分たちで考えて、タイヤというのはこういう物性を持っているだろう、こういう物理的な性質を持っているだろうということをね、想像しながらモデルを作ってきたんだけれども、ミシュランのような、本当に長い歴史を持った高い技術を持った会社とパートナーシップを結んで、その本当にタイヤで何が起きているのかということをね、学ぶ機会をずっと待っていたんですね。
And in the 25 years we have been developing the game, we had always imagined, what are the physical properties of a tire, and we really worked off of our imagination basically to determine how a tire should react within the physics model. But now that we have this partnership with Michelin, with their long history and the technology that they have behind them, really allows us to create something that is going to be real and closer to the reality in terms of a tire, how a tire should behave.
ですから、このパートナーシップを通じて、ミシュランのタイヤテクノロジーがグランツーリスモに導入されることによって、プレイヤーはよりリアルで、よりストラテジックなタイヤというものを経験できると思いますし、グランツーリスモの何百万人ものプレイヤーがそのタイヤを使ってプレイする、ドライビングすることで、そのプレイヤーたちからのフィードバックもミシュランの皆さんに戻せるんじゃないかなと思っています。
And through this partnership, having that technology injected into Gran Turismo from Michelin will really provide a better, realistic experience for the players, as well as providing them with all the different strategies that will come with a more accurate representation. And I think having that model being tested and being played by millions of Gran Turismo users around the world, I think one day we'll be able to actually some of their feedback on regarding what they think about a tire and how they like the performance of a Michelin tire.
Well, Scott, I think it's pretty evident to see that Gran Turismo is developed by people who have got a passion for motorsports. You yourself have a great passion for it as well. Explain to us a little bit more about that.
Well, I've been a motorsports fan since I was a kid. My father was an amateur sports car racer, and I'm passionate about all things motorsports, all things driving. And as you said, that's one of the common characteristics of our companies, because Michelin is full of people who are passionate about performance driving. And it's not just about racing so that we get our brand name out there. It's about racing to utilize motorsports as a way to demonstrate improved technology and stretch the limits on tire capability. So, yes, we like to go fast and we like to set lap records. As if you followed the IMSA series this year, every class, every event, track records are falling as we've taken over that series, and they've fallen by not tenths of a second, a couple seconds a lap. That's important, but what we really get excited about is pushing the performance of tires over time and consistency of performance, making tires last, making tires that are more fuel efficient, or in the case of Formula E, more use less battery life. So the things we get excited about are when somebody quadruple stints one of our tires over 400 miles at Le Mans, and at the end of that, they set the fastest lap. Those are the things that's why we're passionate about motorsports and driving, and how we bring that technology ultimately to the consumer and ultimately make it visible to the Gran Turismo simulated racer through this partnership.
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? And in terms of the partnership as well, it's going to be unique that it will provide a true technical input within GT Sport as well. So what sort of impact do you think that will have in terms of real-life racing?
I think when you take the amount of data we've collected over the years from different circuits, different vehicles, different tire compounds, you marry that with some of our simulation capabilities, I think it'll bring a whole new dimension of strategy. And ultimately improve the performance and the realism of the game, and that's what we're both trying to do here. It's really an exciting new digital adventure because nobody's ever done this before between a simulated racing game and a tire manufacturer to really bring that level of realism to it, and we're very excited about that.
Well, in terms of somebody who's been around professional motorsports for a very, very long time, and also racing yourself, as I understand it, what do you think the Gran Turismo game represents within the sport of motor racing itself?
Well, again, I think the realism that they have brought and to simulated racing is extraordinary, and I think the ultimate testament of that is the fact that many professional race drivers use it as a training tool. I mean, my goodness, you couldn't ask for a better endorsement of just how excellent the game is already. And real racing is about optimizing, finding that extra tenth of a second. How do I get the right match between the vehicle, tire, and the weather conditions on the track? That's what we want to bring here, and I think it'll raise the level of technology and the level of strategy and interest in the game. So we're excited about it.
And Yamauchi-san, what are your final closing thoughts on this? Anything else that you'd like to add regarding this partnership?
そしたら最後に山内さんから何かこのパートナーシップについて最後の言葉をいただけますでしょうか。
はい、ですね、まずお伝えしたいのは、グランツーリスモという、名前自体が、旅をする馬車の意味です。グランツーリスモはその誕生の瞬間から常にテーマが旅だったんですね。でこれは実はミシュランの皆さんも同じなんじゃないかと僕は思っていて、ミシュランの皆さんもミシュランガイドというガイドブックを随分早い時点から出されていて、言ってみればミシュランの皆さんの目的地と僕らの目的地というのは旅という点において共通しているんじゃないかと思っているんです。
So first off, I'd like to explain about the name Gran Turismo itself. It comes from a horse carriage, a type of horse carriage for back in the day. And from its very birth and beginnings, Gran Turismo has always been about travel. And I have a feeling that Michelin actually has a similar route where they have been, from very early on in their history, they had the Michelin guide to guide travelers on the road. And I think as two companies, we have very similar goals in that respect.
であともう一つお伝えしたいのは、僕がミシュランのヘッドクォーターにあるクレルモン・フェランという、フランスの、ほぼ真ん中辺にある、町に、小さな、美しい町なんですけれども、そこに行った時の話をしたいです。
So, and the other thing I wanted to talk about was the experience I had when I visited the Michelin headquarters in Clermont-Ferrand, which is really dead smack in the middle of France.
でミシュランのヘッドクォーターに行って、最初に僕何されるんだろうと思ったらいきなり、ポルシェ GT3RS がボンと用意してあって、で、ものすごくハイスピードな、オーバルではないですね、S 字コーナーなんかもありますから、でランオフエリアは全くない、でバンクもほとんどついてない、そういうところを、250キロで全開で、走ることができたんですね。
And when I first visited the Michelin headquarters, I was kind of excited to see what are they going to show me. The first thing they showed me was a Porsche GT3 RS. They put me in the car, and I was on this high-speed test track. It wasn't an oval track. It actually has S curves. It has turns, but hardly any runoff, no banks. and I was going at full speed at over 250 kilometers per hour on the track as soon as I arrived.
でその時にね、僕思ったのは、僕もレースでミシェランのタイヤって使ったことあるんですけれども、ミシェランのタイヤってすごくそのドライバーに対して寛容なんですね。スイートスポットがすごく広いんです。で、明らかにそのキャラクターは何らかの哲学に基づいて作られているだろうと想像していました。
And the thing that something that experience reminded me of was just, I raced myself as well on Michelin tires several times. And, one thing I noticed about the character of their tires is that the Michelin tires are always, are always forgiving for the driver. There's the sweet spot that it provides is much wider than other ranges of tires that I've driven on. And you can kind of feel the philosophy behind the tire development there.
で僕はそのテストトラックを走った時に、なるほど、こういう作り方をしていたらそれはドライバーに対して寛容なタイヤになるし、スピードが上がれば上がるほどドライバーに安心感を与えてくれるタイヤになるなっていうふうに思いました。
And that's when I realized, when you test a car like this, of course, they're going to make it so that the tires are forgiving to the driver. It's built so that as the faster the tire is driven, the more confidence it gives to the driver, and it really showed how it was developed.
でクレルモン・フェランという町は、プイドドームという、古い火山の、下に広がっている、美しい町なんですけれども、そのクレルモン・フェランって、美しい町だけではなくてすごくアカデミックな香りがするんですよね。
And Clermont-Ferrand is a town that's at the foot of the Puy de Dôme volcano. It's a beautiful city, but it's not just beautiful. It's a city and town that gives off sort of an academic atmosphere. You can feel it.
人間は考える足であるといったパスカルもクレルモン・フェランの人ですよね。
And the Pascal, the famous French philosopher who said man is a thinking reed, he's from the Clermont-Ferrand area as well.
あるいはピュイドドームには、地質学の研究所があったりします。
And Puy de Dôme actually has a geologic research facility in the area as well.
はい、ですからそういったなんでしょうね、そのレースへの、パッションであったり、あるいはクレルモン・フェランという町がもともと持っているそのアカデミックな、気風、そういったものが、ミシェランという会社を作ったんだろうなと思いました。でそういった素敵なブランドと、グランツーリスモが一緒に仕事をすることで、グランツーリスモ自身も、より、ソフィスティケートされた、より高いレベルの、ビデオゲームを作ることが、できるようになるだろうと期待しています。
So, with that passion for cars that Michelin has, and that academic thinking atmosphere of the area where they're based in, I think Michelin and ourselves working together as two brands will really help to sophisticate Gran Turismo to the next level, and really bring the game, our video game to a much higher level of sophistication.
Well, fantastic. Yamauchi-san and Mr. Clark, thank you very much indeed. So let's take a look, shall we, at the content that is going to be in GT Sport coming up and available from October.
For the players.
Well, welcome back onto the stage here in New York for the venue of World Tour 3 of the 2019 FIA Certified Gran Turismo Championships. Now, Scott Clark, I think we've got some special guests that you want to bring up on stage.
Absolutely, and I'm very proud to have the opportunity to introduce two special guests today. The first has been around for more than 100 years. He's known around the world. He's iconic, the iconic representative of the Michelin brand, and that's Bibendum, the Michelin Man. Where is he?
He's coming up on the stage left in just a couple of moments.
There he is.
There we go.
The second is also iconic and really one of the greatest motorsports drivers of our time and one of the most versatile drivers of all time. Somebody who has won at the highest levels of Formula One, IndyCar, NASCAR, has won some of the most iconic races in the world. The Indianapolis 500, the 24 Hours of Daytona, the Monaco Grand Prix. He is also known to be an incredibly quick learner, and we'll see today about that. But he, in his first time out, won the Indianapolis 500. First time, won the 24 Hours of Daytona. First year in IndyCar, won the IndyCar Championship. So, and we're very proud at Michelin to say that this person has and continues to race and win on Michelin tires. Currently, he drives one of the Acura Team Penske Daytona prototypes in the IMSA series. He and his teammate Dane Cameron have already 2 victories this year. I was telling him a few minutes ago, I saw him a couple weeks ago almost get their 3rd victory in a very close 2nd place. But please join me in welcoming Mr. Juan Pablo Montoya.
Juan Pablo, great to have you up here on stage. First of all, what are your impressions here of this event in New York?
It's pretty cool. You know, first of all, thank you for having me. I think the event is unbelievable. I do a lot of simulator. I used to play Gran Turismo when it came out. I remember, I probably never, my first time playing Gran Turismo with a steering wheel, put it that way. I used to play with a controller the whole time and used to spend hours at it. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be here, and it's pretty cool to be with Michelin. You know, I've had a lot of success in my life, and a lot of it actually came with Michelin. All my Formula One wins were with Michelin, so I can't complain. This year we got 2 wins with them as well, and honestly, what he was saying about the tires is unbelievable. Like, when they said last year that Michelin was coming in to replace the tire we had last year, we were, as drivers, we were all very excited because it's not a little difference. It's like, we go, the high-speed corners, we go to say, kids can do it, to, you need to man up. Because the grip level is so much higher that it's like, how brave are you?
Well, Scott mentioned that you're a very quick learner. That's going to be quite important in this Pro-Am race coming up,
Yeah,
right?
I tried a couple of laps. I didn't do bad, but it's difficult because it's very, very tricky. I normally, when I do simulators, I do the actual race cars. So I'm used to like tons of grip and tons of hustling in the car. This seems to be like a lot of sliding around, and it made it fun. We'll have a good time for sure.
Great stuff, Juan Pablo. Well, you've got a great teammate alongside you as well, and I'd like to welcome on stage our 2018 Nations Cup champion, Igor Fraga. Igor won the 2018 Nations Cup in Monaco, and I can now exclusively also reveal that the 2019 World Finals for the FIA Certified Gran Turismo Championships will also be taking place in Monaco once again. That's pretty exciting, is it not? Absolutely fantastic stuff. And, well, it is going to be hugely exciting to see how these drivers will fare over the course of this weekend. And, of course, this upcoming Pro-Am race here in New York as well. I'd just like to thank Yamauchi-san and Mr. Scott Clark as well for joining us up here on stage once again. Give them another round of applause. And now we get ready to introduce our Pro-Am competitors. So, gentlemen, if you want to exit the stage over there, we're going to welcome on the remainder of the teams here in Monaco ahead of this Pro-Am race in a few moments' time.
We gotta go? Yeah.
I know you can stay on stage. We'll keep yourself and Igor on stage there, and we'll get the Michelin Man and Yamauchi-san to just exit stage left there for a few moments' time. There, I'll take that from you. I'll grab that down there, no problem at all. So we've got 11 teams competing here for this Pro-Am race in New York in just a few moments' time. Team 1 is going to be Juan Pablo Montoya as the amateur driver, and also Igor Fraga. In team number 2, it is Matt Gallagher and Matt Simmons. Team number 3, we've got Anderson Abernathy and then Nicolas Rubelar making their way onto stage. Nicolas Rubelar, of course, the winner of World Tour 1 in Paris. And Anderson, an employee of the Michelin company as well. Team number 4, that is Will Bird and Mark Pinnell. They'll be competing in the Porsche 911 RSR. There we are. Very best of luck to you gentlemen there. Be interested to see how they get on. Team number 5, we have Sonia Reed and Nick McMillan. So into team number 6, it's Jordan Greer from GT Planet and Ryota Kokubun. And into team number 7 from Drive, we have Mike Fernie, and alongside him will be Koke Lopez. In team number 8, it's Rez Ren, excuse the pronunciation there, from Auto Week, and Bernie Valverde. In team number 9, we have Steve Alvarez-Brown and Mikhail Hazal. In the 10th team, we have Kamil Kaluski, and alongside him is Cody Lukovsky. And we're running out of room here on stage, so hopefully we can fit all 11 teams in. But the 11th and final team is Adam Ismail and Takuma Miyazono. So those are the 11 teams that will be competing in this upcoming Pro-Am race. It is going to be hugely exciting to see how they all get on in a few moments' time. So drivers will make their way to the sleds. But in the meantime, let's cross up to Jimmy Broadbent in the commentary box, who's going to give us an in-depth guide of the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya.
It's a bit lonely up here without Tom, to be honest, and I'm a bit sad to see the Michelin man not taking part in the Pro-Am race. But hey guys, welcome up to the box. Let's talk about the race that's coming up very shortly, our Pro-Am race. Now, let's talk about the race format. As you've seen, we have our teams made up of both a Pro and an Am driver, the Pro drivers being our superstars in their glorious red uniforms. And the Am drivers are maybe not fair to call them all amateur drivers. Let's talk about a couple of people taking part in that, of course. I had the live chat open here, and a couple of big reactions for you guys. First of all, we have, of course, Ram Shadow, or Super GT, as he's better known, taking part in the event with Mick Hazell, someone who's very familiar with Gran Turismo. We also have Matt Gallagher from WTF1, who hopefully will not have the chance to put dries on at some point during this. And probably the biggest name, I think it's fair to say, a man with more accolades than I can read out here, Juan Pablo Montoya. Arguably, of course, this is going to be his biggest challenge yet. He's going to be taking part in this race with our other Pro-Am teams in the Group 3 machines, so GT3 style machines that you guys have all seen before at previous events. Now, it's going to be a 10-lap race here, so nice, easy race. And the race... Hello, Tom. Welcome back.
Sorry there.
Well, we've got Tom back up in the booth. It's a 10-lap race, and as Tom said right now, we're going to be racing at the Circuit de Catalunya. Let's have a look at that circuit in more detail. So here it is then, the Circuit de Catalunya, located in Catalonia, as implied by the title, of course. Just over 4.6 kilometres of racetrack, a circuit a lot of you guys will be familiar with at home, and our guys here as well. Overtaking zones down at T1 and T10, the best zones to get past there, using the draft into the tight hairpin corners. Not much of an elevation change between the highest and lowest part of the circuit. But something to note, of course, that each of our drivers must drive at least 4 laps minimum. So the format we tend to see, or the thing we're going to see, is that the Pro driver probably driving for 6 laps, and we have the amateur driver probably for 4 laps. Tom, welcome back. That was a very nice entry there, mate.
Sorry about that. Kind of gate crashed my way in, didn't I?
Just swanned your way in, didn't you?
I tell you what, though, this is going to be hugely exciting. You've mentioned about the driver lineup there, Jimmy, and you look at the likes of Juan Pablo Montoya, Igor Fraga. That's a very strong driver pairing. You look at Mikael Hazal and Super GT. That's a very strong driver pairing. You've spoken to Super GT Steve Brown as well about what his tactics are going into this one. I think they're pretty interesting, to say the least.
Well, he jokingly said that he was probably going to try and make a lunge down at T1 on a certain driver involved. Yeah, I think I'll leave that to the driver's surprise to find out when that happens. But yeah, a great field of drivers. I think it's unfair to call half these guys AMs, to be honest.
That's very true, actually. There's a lot of drivers with a lot of experience. You look at like Jordan Greer, for example. He's a man who runs GT Planet. He knows Gran Turismo inside out, and we know how quick he can be. I hark back, actually, a memory of Jordan when he was in the 2017 launch of GT Sport, and he managed to win that race against some very competitive other drivers. So he could be one to watch out for as well. And he's also got Ryota Kokyuban alongside him. Again, a driver who we hold in very high esteem here in GT.
Yeah, definitely. Jordan, a person who has not very much luck in the media races, it's fair to say. But what we're going to do now is pop down to Julia to get a bit more information on our competitors.
Well, hello. Yeah, we're down on the floor. I'm sad I'm not up in the little skybox with you guys, but the excitement down here is pretty palpable. Very excited. The GT family's growing a little bit there with Michelin coming on board. But let's get straight to this Pro-Am race. I'm here with, oh my God, it's Firefox. How are you doing, Sonia?
Good, good. I'm excited. Yeah.
Are you happy? Are you keen and happy, ready to go? Well, who's your target for this race? What do you reckon?
Listen, I don't know. Who are we taking out?
Come on, Nick. Who we go for, Nick?
I think Juan Pablo Montoya is looking like a good candidate. It's going to be our only chance ever to do it. So,
I mean, let's be honest. Yes, this is the only chance you'll probably ever beat him in real life.
if you have a chance, take it.
There we go. All right. Are you feeling confident though?
Yeah, I've got Nick on my team. I think we got this.
Okay. All right. Moving on. We got Kamil Kaluski, who's actually got Cody on his team there. Who's already. I don't know. I feel wrong to disturb. Right. How are you doing? He's really focusing right now. I think everyone's taking this quite seriously. How are you feeling, Cody, more importantly?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, anything can happen. Obviously, our goal is to finish up there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who are you going to take out? Who you got your eye on? Has anyone ever written anything about you didn't like?
Super GT is right next to us, so maybe we'll do something questionable, but we'll see. I want a clean race, but anything can happen.
I mean, it's a Pro-Am, right? It's cool. All right, let's go find out if he's got some smack talk for you. I'll let you get back on and get prepared for the race there. So we're coming round this way. Ah. Hey, how you doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. I love disturbing them when they're practicing. How confident are you feeling in this Pro-Am?
Good. Thanks to Mick for putting it on pole for me. But
I mean, you've got Mick on your team, so you've done pretty well there.
Yeah, I think that's half the job, really, just getting the best driver with me, so it should be okay. Best team, yeah.
Mick, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel like I'm blessed right now because meme boy over here, meme team. So basically, for the Shadow Realm team, we are trying to give our best. So.
Oh, well, good luck. You get back to practicing. We're going to duck back here and go and see Matt. Other way. Here we go. Hi. How are you doing? I'm going to come in between you there. There we go. All right, Matt, how's it going?
So I heard none of that.
Okay. How confident are you feeling in terms of the amount of Snickers that you could eat?
Well, I haven't had any today, so hopefully that will improve my weight ratio as we go around the lap, a bit lighter.
Sorry, fans of Matt will know that he did an entire video about the cost of racing rigs compared to the amount of Snickers bars that you could buy. And he's not even a big Snickers fan. It's very odd. How are you feeling? Confident?
Yeah, we're confident. He's game time. He's picked it up really quickly, so no, we're going to be good.
I think everyone's very confident, but everyone's kind of taking this quite seriously, especially some of the guys who write for some of the motorsport things, but that's quite normal. I'm going to leave these guys to get on with it, and let's kick off this prime race. Going to chuck it upstairs to the nest. What are we calling it up there, guys? Tom and Jimmy.
Well, you've got to put a name for it than whatever we have there, Julia, because I've got no idea what on earth we're going to call it. What should we call this place? The hub, the wing, the nest,
wing? The wing? The nest sounds a little bit like nightclubby.
Yeah, it sounds like a dodgy nightclub as well. There's a few of those around here, let's be fair. I tell you what, though, those drivers are full of confidence, though, aren't they, there, to be honest, and quite rightly so.
Yeah, definitely. And let's go over our start list, as you have been through them already. As you can see, all our guys there, we have our amateurs on the left and the pros on the right. Again, not really right to call a lot of those guys on the left amateurs, but 11 cars taking to the grid here today. 11 cars down in T1, should be interesting.
Yeah, it certainly will be. By the way, these lineups for this race, the driver lineup, is based on a free practice session that they had earlier on this afternoon. So that is how they have lined up. So, for example, Super GT and Hizal on pole position. Here they are all lined up then, ready to go racing. So it's going to be a rolling start here at this circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Now, the first corner, Jimmy, is not necessarily that tight, but we know that it can cause some fireworks, especially with these guys going in with the clearest view.
Yep, definitely. And a lot of guys out there, of course, saying they're going to go for that T1 lunge. Interesting to hear Nick McMillan there saying, yeah, we're going to go for Montoya down there. It's our only chance to. Not really in the sport of fair play, old Tom. Always got to be focusing on that sportsmanship, haven't you?
Yeah, you have. Yeah, don't become a missile. That's the last thing you want to do. There's Reader McMillan in the Ford GT. They line up in 5th position. Alongside them, it's Gallagher and Simmons. We know how competitive that pairing can be, but only qualified down in 6th position. Then Ren and Valverde in the Corvette C7 machine. Alongside them, it's Bird and Pinnell. Canadian driver Pinnell there. He is the pro driver for that team. Then Montoya and Fraga. So work to do for those guys from 9th position, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, well, for their benefit, they've got not many people behind them, so they're safe down in T1 maybe, we'll see. But Abernathy and Nick there in 11th place, and they are rounding off our grid. Rolling start here, of course, at Barcelona with Super GT and Michelin leading off the field. Super GT, I think, in the car at the moment, is he?
Yeah, so the AM drivers are starting this race.
That, yeah. So, as I said before at the start, 4 laps is the minimum drive time. So I'll be interested to see if the guys at the top of the field are going to try and get the drivers in quickly, get the pro in, and then go for the win. As you said, Tom, this is meant to be a bit of a fun race, but a lot of the guys down there taking this rather seriously.
Well, understandably so as well. Crucially as well, you can see the left-hand side of your screen there. Everybody starts on the hard compound tyres, rather, except for the mediums of Bird and Pinnell. Interesting tyre strategy there going on. Will that be a risk that pays off for them, do we reckon?
No idea. I didn't know we had tyre strategy in this race, so that's news to me. But good commentator. Anyway, coming around the last corner now, it will be Super GT. Ram Shadow, as you may know him, taking the green flag in the Subaru. Just waiting for that to come out, and then it's going to be a rush down to T1, anybody's game. So just getting those tyres nice and warm now, waiting for lights. There you go. 3, 2, 1, and we are away for the Pro-Am exhibition race here at New York, and the Super GT predictably leading the field down to T1. That Mazda behind has legs as well, but look at the Mercedes in 3rd position, already in the slipstream of the Subaru. Super GT going to the inside straight away to defend the corner. Looks like he's going to lead into T1. Looks like the Mazda's going to try and make a move around the outside. No, Kaluski takes 2nd place. Greer goes down into 3rd. Matt Gallagher up into 4th. More importantly, Montoya and Fraga up into 5th position. What a start from those guys.
Brilliantly late braking there from Juan Pablo Montoya up into 5th position. Also Gallagher and Sim getting the better of Reed and McMillan. So that car of Reed, the Canadian driver in the field at the moment, now down into 6th place from their 4th position start. Also moves being made further back as well was Bird and Pinnell go down the order at the expense of Ren and Valverde, and also Ismail and Miyazono making their way up through the field. Running aboard here with Montoya into the left-hander. He's got Matt Gallagher in front of him through the left-hander, and then coming up in towards, a bit of a slip and a slide there for Greer. Jordan Greer has made a mess of his exit going through turn number 5, and he slides down the order, and look as well, big drama there as well as Kalusi makes a Horlicks of turn 7. That allows Gallagher and Sim to come through as well as Montoya and Fraga's machine, but that is an absolutely dramatic opening lap, and here comes Montoya now all over the back of Matt Gallagher. In the slipstream he is. Gallagher's surely going to go defensive and force Montoya to take the long way round into the braking zone of turn 10. We go nearly down the inside and down the inside for Juan Pablo Montoya, through ahead of Matt Gallagher here in Catalunya, from 9th to 2nd in the space of 3/4 of a lap.
Tell you what, I'm not sure Matt will mind that too much being overtaken by Montoya, a bit given that he's a massive F1 fan, of course, but that does put Montoya up into 2nd position. Now, can he chase down Super GT? That's the question. The gap already up to 4 seconds at the front there. Montoya making a hash that hits the curb there, gets it sideways, just about gathers it back up again, but there's a 2nd position he fought so hard for is now lost again. He's going to have to try and chase down Gallagher one more time, but still, despite that little mini half spin there, up into 3rd after the first lap. Here are our leaders right now. Super GT looking nice and easy at the front of the field there. Not had the chance to send Montoya to the shadow round as he wanted to earlier on, as he was saying, but I think he's happy enough to be out front and leading, and importantly, Tom, gap's increasing.
Yeah, 4.6 seconds at the end of lap 1. That's a very impressive opening lap there there from Super GT, doing exactly what he wanted and needed to do. Here is Matt Gallagher now with a bit more daylight between himself and Montoya after that mistake from Montoya in the final sector. Also on that first lap, we saw a bit of drama coming out of the hairpin of turn 10. That was the Porsche 911 of Bird and Pinnell. So those guys coming into even more strife at the end of their first lap. So things not going their way at all. They're actually down into 11th position. So going from bad to worse, really, for that team as things stand. Here is Kaluski, though, behind the wheel of the machine. He's got Cody Dukowski as a teammate. And Cody, we know how much of a fan of the Mercedes he is. So he'll be very pleased with the car choice that he has at the moment. There is Jordan Greer, though. And that's impressive, actually, from Greer behind the wheel of that car, because we saw him at this point on the opening lap making a big mistake and sliding down the order. He's managed to make his way back into 5th position.
Jordan was saying before the race that if he doesn't do well in this race, he's going to get a lot of stick for it on the back on the Gran Turismo Planet forums, and I think it's probably going to happen again, isn't it? He's just gone back with him. And there's Mike Verney there from Drive Tribe, currently middle of the pack in 6th position. So we have a little bit of team radio right now, and we have Mike on screen. So let's see if we can listen to Mike Verney's team radio.
Because you have more power.
Yeah. Yeah, he says. I think what we're having there was...
Toyota is very fast on the straight. You can take benefit.
You know, these guys are battling ahead of me.
Yeah, the voice there of Mike Verney from Drive Tribe.
Oh, I'm shaking a bit.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's shaking a bit because he's looking at this action going on in front of him as well between Greer and Kaluski. Side by side they come down the start-finish straight, heading in towards turn number 1, over the brow of the hill. The Mazda on the inside, the Mercedes on the outside. Greer trying to attack against Kaluski. Is he going to have a lunge down to turn 1? Yes, he is, and straight into the back of Kaluski there goes Verney as well.
Yeah, fantastic move there, and that's there. And that also Mike Verney in the background coming up into 5th position, so bad to worse for Greer. But what we're going to try and do is get some team radio on our current leaders, which will be Super GT and Mick Hazal. We'll see if we can get that up for you guys shortly.
Down into towards the right-hander as well. Here is Super GT and Mick Hazal. What have they got to say to one another?
Nothing, right? I think they know they're on camera.
Yeah, just Mick making some demonstrations to the camera there, as you can see. Meanwhile, there is Verney just in 4th place. Here is Kaluski in 6th position. Here is Ismail now. He's kind of in the pound seat here because you've got 3 drivers squabbling amongst one another as things stand. They could be in with a chance of taking advantage here. As Jimmy said as well, these AM drivers are going to do a minimum of 4 laps in this race in order to then change over to the pro driver in it. You can see there as well, Verney going defensive against Greer. Down towards turn number 10 we go. Greer having his nose chopped off there as Verney defends the line very nicely indeed. And look at Ismail just going a little bit wide out of turn 10. Doesn't allow Kaluski to close up on him as things stand, but things getting very interesting at the moment. And there's kind of 2 battles now going on. It was nearly a 4-way scrap a few moments ago. Now it's kind of 2 battles for separate positions.
Now, this is a good run for Verney so far. I was very nervous in saying that. I think he's just clipped the curb, so a bit of a commentator's curse right there as Verney gets it all wrong coming through the large chicane. Very easy to do that given how high the curbs are. That's going to hurt him all the way down the straight now, but in the meantime, Kaluski and Ismail behind there having a great scrap. On board there with the McLaren, just trying to hold on to the back of the AMG Mercedes coming down the straight. He'll then go to the inside, coming down the T1. Great overtake opportunity this. What will he do later on the brakes? It looks like he's going to slide through on the inside. He does in the background around as well, getting involved. And Kaluski is getting absolutely mobbed from both sides. Contact there between the Mercedes and the McLaren. And again, the Corvette running into the back of the AMG. And right now, these guys are in the war. 6th, 7th, and 8th place, right next to each other on track. Now it's going to be a drag down to T4. Let's see who has it down here. Here comes Kaluski in the background. The inside, no, he backs out of it. Ren goes inside in contact with Ismail, and he's going to go through. And Ismail gets just rammed off onto the outside of the circuit. Bad luck for him. Wrong place, wrong time. And Ren goes from 8th to 6th place in a couple of corners. And Kaluski looks to the inside as well. These guys are going at it, Tom.
They really are. Very exciting racing between all of them. And, well, I tell you what, Ismail there doing a good job, actually, of keeping things on the straight and narrow after things went very wrong for him. Here's Kaluski down the inside in towards that left-hander of turn 7. Then through the right of turn 8. Now ahead of the Corvette they are. So very good stuff there. Ren demoted down down a position as Kaluski makes some good progress. Now, this is the first opportunity for these drivers to change over to their pro drivers. Now, does Super GT do it? We were speaking to him earlier on, and he says that he was going to after 4 laps, and he does do exactly that. Put Mick Hazal in the car. He said he's going to be the faster choice and the better opportunity in this race.
He was saying, yeah, as soon as I can, I'm getting Mick in the car. I know he's quickest, so Mick getting in the car now, and fresh set tyres going, medium tyres now.
Montoya Fraga also following in, as well as Gallagher and Sim. So Fraga now into the car, Simmons into their machine ahead of Gallagher as they all change over. There's the Michelin branded Honda NSX. Out of it they go now, and it's now Igor Fraga behind the wheel of the machine, and we'll have Montoya on the team radio. So this is a position he's not used to being in. He's normally used to probably shouting at his crew member, and now he's going to be in the position where he's going to have to talk to Igor Fraga and give him some good advice.
Fraga crossed over the line there, Igor. I saw that, mate. Don't think I wasn't watching. I don't think we have any stewards in this race at the moment, or not ones that are taking severe actions we would have in the World Tour events, of course. But Fraga there out the pits. In comes Baird of the Porsche. Will be setting over to the hard compound tyre. They started in the medium. So now we have something that is quite familiar, I think it's fair to say. We're going to have Hazal versus Sim versus Fraga.
Yeah, used to seeing that out on track. Here is Mikhail Hazal. Then you can see a warning's been given to Ren and Valverde following their contact on lap number 4. So no penalties being given out, but a penalty actually being given to Matt Simmons here for one reason or another. It's gone from half a second up to a second, so one would assume that is for exceeding track limits, as he does the gain coming out of turn number 9 of Kamsa. Then, Lakaisha rather, I should say, down in towards that turn number 10. We go. Now it's Igor Fraga. Now he's the driver on the attack. He's going to try and close that gap down to Gallagher, but he's 4 seconds adrift of Simmons, rather, I should say, who's in that machine now. But Mikhail Hazal, the driver who's leading the way and also increasing that advantage after that pit stop. Here is Igor Fraga in 3rd position.
Again, nice to see him at the wheel. I don't think he knew he was partnering Montoya to about a day ago or so. Quite a bigger achievement, I guess, for someone like Fraga. It'd be quite intimidating teammating here. Meanwhile, in the back of the pack, we have Lopez now, who's taken over from Fernie in the Toyota, making his way back up the field in 5th position. Miyazono in the background there, and Valverde, of course, Costa Rica touring car driver, getting his elbows out as you would expect him to. Up the inside there, he's going to be on the outside for the first part of the chicane, though. Going to try and go side by side. Don't need to get 2 cars through there, but Valverde manages it, just about a little bit of door-to-door bashing there. And it looks like Valverde goes up into 6th position. That's how you do it, mate.
Nearly 4 corners side by side for those drivers as well. 4th, 6th place, very exciting stuff. They've got the slipstream into effect now. Will Miyazono be able to attack as they come down the start-finish straight against Valverde? He's got the inside line. Will he find his way through? Not quite there. Late on the brakes for Valverde. A little bit too late on the brakes. He misses the apex. That'll compromise his run through turn 2 and will allow Miyazono an opportunity through the right-hander of turn 3. You can see how much more speed he's got. He's got the inside line. Looks like there was a bit of contact between those drivers. It allows Lakowski to draw side by side as well with Valverde. Down in towards the right-hander we go. Nearly 3 wide for position. Very defensive there from Miyazono. Here comes Lakowski on the inside versus Valverde, and he manages to find his way through, but Valverde's going to have the inside line again down in towards the left-hander of turn number 5. Let's listen to some team radio.
3.7 yet. All the drama's happening behind you. Yeah. Just got to keep it clean. These lines are beautiful. I think slipstream is set on weak, so they have a slipstream from very far away. Yeah, they're all absolutely diving in the air, but what's that all about? It's me on the screen.
So here we are at the back. You see they're just discussing a little bit of tactics there and what's going on behind them right now. And Lopez has got his mirrors full of carnage in the background. Almost 3 cars there going at it. We have Valverde 6th. We have Miyazono in 7th, and of course Lakowski in 8th position. Someone who's known for his aggression. And this pack is just getting closer together. And of course the slipstream down the straight is only going to help that. Immediately Lopez in the Toyota goes to the inside. 3 wide. They're coming across the start-finish line. We have Lakowski on the inside, McLaren in the middle, and then Valverde on the left. Who's going to come out ahead of this? It's a drag race down to T1. Fernandez in front. Lakowski tries to go for both of them. He's going to make it. He's on board side by side. Sorry, with Valverde. Puts him off onto the green stuff there. So Lakowski nice and aggressive through there. I wonder if the stewards want to look at that or not, but I think that was just very opportunistic there from Lakowski. But Miyazono coming back on the inside now is just placing your car in the right place, and all the while Valverde in the background just looking to try and make those places back.
Good stuff there from Bernie Valverde, trying to find his way through. Side by side he runs with Cody Lukovski. So Lukovski got 2 positions, and he's almost set to lose 2 positions down into the left-hander of turn 5 we go. Valverde on the outside, Lukovski on the inside. Still side by side they come. Lukovski defends his position. Valverde has to duck back into the slipstream. Up in towards turn number 7 we go. On board with the Corvette. Defending is Cody Lukovski here, whilst trying to attack against Takuma Miyazono, but he's got no way to find his way past. Into the right-hander of Lukaisha we go. Very close racing indeed. Nose to tail they run. 3 drivers all squabbling for position. You can see Miyazono going defensive. Lukovski has to go to the outside line. Here comes Valverde. He sends it down the inside at turn 10, but he bites off and Lopez gets biffed off there in the drama as well. Huge drama here at turn number 10 in the Pro-Am race. Lopez gets spun round. Valverde manages to make a complete Horlicks of his braking zone down into turn number 10. You can see the smile on the face of Bernie Valverde there. Well, I think he's got no other opportunity. If he wasn't laughing, he'd probably be crying at the moment.
I think he knows what's coming, that's why. Oh, yeah, okay, that was bad. I mean, these guys are just getting themselves warmed up, of course, for the Nations race, the manufacturers race coming up a bit later on this week. But you don't want to see that many elbows. Look at that Ford in the background. Here's a replay of what happened. Let's have a look at this. So here is the Supra of Lopez at the front here. Takes his corner normally. Valverde just goes from another postcode.
Yeah, that was never going to work,
what
was
were you
it?
doing, mate? But that's not all right.
Goodness me. That was last of the late breakers. And so I love the way that the stewards put up the under investigation ticker tape at the top of the screen there. Like it needs an investigation.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's pretty clear cut what's going to happen with that one, don't you? Meanwhile, here is Igor Fraga now behind the wheel of the Honda NSX. And he's closed that gap down quite significantly to Matt Simmons, who is now behind the wheel of the Jaguar, just in the forefront of his shot now. It's down to 1.3 seconds. Meanwhile, we've hardly mentioned him over the course of this one. Mikhail Hazal, what a great job he's doing. 9.4 seconds, the advantage now sits to second place.
Yep, he's just doing his thing out there and he's just driving around. He likes being at the front of the field, just making it easy. And unsurprisingly, we have a slowdown penalty there for the Valverde car for colliding with another car. I think colliding is putting it lightly, but yeah, that's what we not really surprised. I'm surprised that Valverde isn't part of the Ram tag on Gran Turismo. Maybe something to look up for him. Anyway, meanwhile, on board with Fraga, they're getting a little bit sideways, coming through the chicane. That is Matt Simmons in front, of course, GT Academy winner a few years ago. And there are some, well, that's not distracting at all. I think you can't really race the jet stand, sorry, can you, Tom?
No, you certainly can't. So you can see the drivers coming along the start-finish straight. Here is the Gallagher-Simmons car. Look at that gap, it's come down significantly over the last lap or so, over the last few laps, really more than anything now here on the penultimate lap. Igor Fraga is in with a really good shout of finding his way through against Matt Simmons. Look at how sideways Matt Simmons was there going through that right-hander. Very good racing, great driving as well from the Australian, of course, former GT Academy competitor. We know how competitive he can be, but just not such a situation arising for him in these Group 3 cars here in this race. You can see a penalty there for Valverde on the left-hand side of the screen, of course. He's now serving that, that's why he's dropping down the order as things stand. So penultimate lap time then, so the battle for the race lead as well. It never has been a battle, it's been a clear-cut romp away from the rest of the field for Super GT and Mikhail Hazal, but this battle for second place really intensifying here in these closing stages, Jimmy.
It is, and of course, Fraga really in the better position. He's on the slipstream of the Jaguar in front, and coming up now to one of the better overtaking spots on the circuit now. Good run out of T10, very fast right-hander. There you go over the curb on the outside. Now tuck into the slipstream and see what you can do down the straight. Let's see if Fraga dips out. No, I think he's going to be patient for now. Maybe try coming down the main straight. Well, all about positioning your car at this point in the race. You know, the guy in front is going to try and defend the best he can. Best place to do it is down the straight, but there's no denying that Fraga's really put up the gap to Simmons and definitely under threat right now. But all this does really, all this little fighting here just allows an easier reign for Mick Hazal. So here we are then on board coming through the right-left. Fraga got an okay run out of there, but then Simmons a little bit slidey on exit now, dipping into the slipstream. Can Fraga get this done? Here we go, you're going to see now the cars get close together as Fraga pulls into the draft, and T1 is probably going to be the best place to try and do it. The Brazilian driver pulls up to the back of Simmons. Will he dive to the inside here? He does. The last minute, late on the brakes, not quite late enough though. Simmons also braking late to try and dissuade Fraga for making the move, and then sideways there, both of them out of T2 as they scramble to get on the power, and now through the very, very long right-hander T3. This absolutely burns the front left tyre. Simmons going a bit wide there. Fraga now on the inside. This might be the chance, but Simmons comes across defensive and keeps second for now. Will Fraga go around the outside? No, hasn't quite got the grip for that, Tom.
Very close racing between them. Notice how they run down towards turn number 5. Isn't normally an overtaking opportunity. Fraga might try and invent something, but I think he's going to play the long game here. You can see Simmons there going late. He's gone well wide. That's allowed Fraga to go through here on the final lap. Brilliant stuff there from Igor Fraga. He pressured Matt Simmons into making a mistake, and that is exactly what the Australian has done here on the final lap of this Pro-Am race. The Honda NSX of Montoya and Fraga now leads in this battle for second.
Well, more importantly, Tom, coming into the last part of the track now, the last part of the lap, is Mick Hazal. These guys are going to be fighting. I think Fraga's got this now, pulling away from Simmons a little bit, but it's Mick Hazal and Super GT now coming into the last couple of corners. There's Mick Hazal trying to end his curse of the last of second position, and let's see if we can listen in now.
Can you hear it? Smooth operator! Smooth operator! Come on! Yes!
Well, I tell you what, that's an ending to the race, isn't it? Super GT and Mikael Hazal do take victory in the Pro-Am exhibition race here in New York for World Tour 3. Juan Pablo Montoya and Igor Fraga finishing in second place. What a great race from the Colombian and the Brazilian here in New York. Third place goes the way of Matt Gallagher and Matt Simmons, the two Matts in third place on the podium. Jordan Greer and Ryota Kokibun in fourth place. Kaluski and Lakowski inside that top 5. And look at this battle, Jimmy, all the way to the line for sixth place.
A great race up and down the field. So I'm still recovering from Hazal's
team radio. Yeah, it's quite a way of doing it, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant stuff there. Here's the team radio again. I think we can listen in. No, there we can't there. Well, I thought we were going to have another listen to that there, but there is Mikael Hazal. There is Steve Brown, otherwise known as Super GT. I think they're pretty happy with that one there, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think they are. I don't think they were a very strong team. We thought they'd do well in this, but they kind of just dominated this. They just went away from the front, and that was the end of it. No chance for anyone to catch them. But great to see him happy with that, isn't it? I think it's good for Mick. It's I bet run of second places recently, so nice to win something at last.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe it'll break his duck. We've got the Nations Cup qualifying, Manufacturer Series qualifying coming up as well. Maybe this will be exactly what he needs to do. We're going to have a look at some replays in a few moments' time here in New York as well, and piece together exactly what happened during that Pro-Am exhibition race here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. So down towards that first turn, well, it was Super GT who was on the defensive already and managed to hold on to that lead in the first corner. This was a bit of contact as well with Montoya into the back of Matt Gallagher at turn 7, which subsequently sent him into the back of the car in front as well. Here's Ismail and Red in the early stage. In fact, that would have been Valverde, rather, I should say, and Miyazono behind the wheel of that car. That was where they went 3 wide for a few times, and it got very exciting down in towards this hairpin, not for the first time or the last time.
Yeah, that was an interesting move there from Valverde, who came from, you see it again, it's just, yeah, it wasn't really on. He tried his best, he thought he'd give it a go, and unfortunately Lopez, here's the onboard with that. Well, you see how much it means to those guys down there. And of course, in the dying laps of the race, we had Fraga chasing down Matt Simmons. Matt Simmons goes wide down at the bottom of the course there. Fraga takes second position, which is where he would finish.
Exactly, brilliant stuff. And Super GT and Mikael Hazal taking victory in the Pro-Am exhibition race then here in the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. Let's take a look, shall we, at the final results from that race and just give you confirmation of who finished where following the checkered flag. We'll get that for you in just a couple of moments' time. But, well, very exciting, a great display of driving as well from Steve and also Mick.
I'm going to be the one to say it. I'm quite impressed with JPM, with Montoya.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't really, he's said before, he hasn't really driven with a wheel before on Gran Turismo. He was up to, was it P5 by T1?
Yeah, his moves were very impressive. Bar that one mistake that we saw him make in that final sector, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I see him on the screen just now, just having a bit of a chat with some of the other drivers there. I think he seems pretty happy with himself down there.
I think so too. And, well, what a fantastic ambassador he has been for Michelin as well. And finishing on the podium is a great result for him. So Super GT and Hazal take victory in the Pro-Am exhibition race. Montoya and Fraga in second. Gallagher and Simmons in third place. Then it's Greer and Kokibun, Kaluski and Lakowski inside your top 5. Then Fernie and Lopez, Ishmael and Miyazono, Reed and McMillan in 8th place. Inside the top 10 as well, Ren and Valverde. Bird and Pinnell in 10th position. And then Abernathy. And then, of course,
Abu Dhabi and that machine just a little bit further down the order. That, of course, is Nicolas Rubbelard, who is down there as well. Disappointment there for Nicolas Rubbelard. He'll have hoped for a better result, but finishing down in 11th place is probably not where he wanted to be.
I did watch him in practice. I think he kind of, the AM driver maybe not quite up to the level of the guys at the top there, and I think he just accepted it. He was like, okay, fair enough. That's what it's going to be.
Well, exactly. And, brilliant stuff. And I tell you what, it was interesting to see what the drivers were going to do in terms of strategy. Pretty much everybody pitted in on lap 4, didn't they, really? Just got the amateur drivers out the way, put the pros in the car, and see how the race turned out.
Got to be realistic, really. You know, if you're one of the AM drivers out there, you aren't going to be as quick as the pro drivers. Get them in as soon as possible. And I was interested to see Super GT come in, because for those at home, I'd say Super GT is not far off the level of the guys here. So I thought maybe Mick would give him one more lap out there. But nope, in on lap 4, just the rest of them. Really.
Well, it seemed to pay dividends, didn't it, really? As soon as Mick got out in that car, that lead was at 4.5 seconds, pretty much a constant throughout Super GT stint. Then we saw Mick in the car. It increased to 9.1 seconds.
I tell you what, Matt Gallagher did it right, didn't he?
Did well, very well.
It was about a 4-second gap, which kind of remained at that level. Pretty much the entire time in the car. So keeping up with someone like Super GT, I can't do that. So it's all right, really, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very impressive as well. What about Koli Lukovsky as well? We saw him involved in a lot of strife. There was a great battle going on for 6th position over the course of that race, which came to a head with Valverde making a complete mess of that braking zone down at turn 10.
Yeah, Cody being involved in instances is something that we've seen a lot over the course of the World Tour event, something that he's working on, he tells me. But yeah, just being very aggressive, as we've seen before. Great action down the team. We had 3 wide going over the line. I mean, that's what we want to see.
Yeah, we certainly did. Well, it's time to go to the podium then for the Pro-Am exhibition race here in New York. So you can see the Michelin man on the right-hand side of your screen. So welcoming onto the stage in 3rd position, it's Matt Gallagher and Matt Simmons. High fives all round from the Michelin man, and the Michelin caps on the podium there as well. And now time for 2nd position then. It is Juan Pablo Montoya and Igor Fraga. And the winners of the Pro-Am exhibition race here in New York. It is Steve Brown, Super GT. And alongside him, of course,
Mick Hazal.
Mikael Hazal.
Oh, Tom. He's in there somewhere.
Yeah, he is. I'm trying to find my way through the list. It's been such a busy afternoon. And Mikael Hazal making his way onto the podium there as well. And a Thrustmaster TGT. Well, that must be like the 10th Thrustmaster wheel he's got now.
Add that to his collection, I think. Or a final edition for his collection. There you go.
All the drivers on the podium here for the Pro-Am exhibition race in New York then. Celebrations all round from the drivers. Steve Brown on the left-hand side of your picture and Mikael Hazal as well. Let's head down then to Julia, shall we?
Wow, well done. How do you feel?
Blessed.
Best fans.
I mean, obviously getting in the pole position was a help. I mean, you just beat JPM.
Well, it just happened, I guess, so.
You're going to dine out on that for a little while, surely?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Overwhelmed, clearly. Oh, Juan Pablo, how did you find it?
It was really interesting. It was a lot of fun. You know, I don't play a lot of PlayStation, to be honest. I think it's really, really cool. I used to play Gran Turismo back in the day when the first and the second one came out. I used to spend a lot of hours on it. Actually now I do like big simulators just for work and not enough time to play. But it was really cool, and you can tell for his awkwardness that he spends a lot of time in front of the screen.
Wow. Okay, Igor Fraga, how did you find it? Obviously, getting to race with a legend.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very cool to watch it. You know, F1 race winner and also like an IndyCar champion race.
You're going to be here for 10 minutes if you go through it all.
Yes, but it was very cool to see him watch like live and see his techniques and everything. It was a very special moment.
Well, congratulations, everyone. That's a big round of applause for the winners there of our first Pro-Am. And we're going to chuck it upstairs now to Tom and Jimmy. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, thank you very much indeed there, Julia. Well, blessed for Mikael Hazal. I think he's pretty pleased with that one.
They both are, really. You know, I don't expect anything less from those guys on the podium, to be honest. But fantastic to see all the guys on the podium. Great to see old Juan Pablo up there as well, of course.
Less of the old. I don't think he'll appreciate that.
Sorry, the young and sprightly Juan Pablo Montoya, and of course Matt Gallagher up there as well. So
yeah, good stuff.
Good podium.
Yeah, that's a good content for WTF1, isn't it? Let's be fair. We know what their next video is going to be about, isn't it? It really was absolutely brilliant. And what was your standout moment? Just pick one very quickly for the race, Jimmy.
I think just the free wide over the line. It just goes to show these guys, even in the Pro-Am race, they're going to just go at it as hard as they can. Very competitive guys. Great to see them race.
Well, don't forget, of course, the Nations Cup and the Manufacturer Series events coming up here in New York. Tomorrow, of course, we've got the Manufacturer Series. On Sunday, we have the Nations Cup. So whatever you do, be sure to tune in for the FIA Certified Gran Turismo Championships here for World Tour 3 in New York.